I called it, ladies and gentlemen. Over literally 10 days ago, I did a video talking about the entire ending of this fairy tale chapter, and well, I knew that she would be returning in one way or another, but very big controversial chapter in fairy tale today. So yeah, we're definitely going to be probably saving the controversial stuff till last, since that is actually the last part of the chapter, and trust me, I have some things to say about that as well, and I can understand a lot of people's rage, and don't worry, we'll get to that point as soon as possible. But let's begin Fairy Tale 490. Fairy Tale Zero. So chat started off, we got to see like kind of a little recap of exactly Fairy Tale Zero. I guess like for some people that like haven't seen it and like have, you know, like, oh, what the fuck is this? Like, you know, I think for the majority of like fans have seen Fairy Tale Zero, if not by anime format by now, or like seen the volume of it. Like, it's literally just one volume, and you can clearly see, even for people that don't understand, that this is like a very close friend to like Mavis and all that, and like wanted to go and say like, you can't leave me, Zera, and all that, and saying, you know, you know where fairies live and all that, they live without, you know, within my heart and all that. And it's like, you know, what about me though? Where do I live? And it's just like, this isn't goodbye, like that. You know, there's other stuff going on, and we finally cut back to actually present day, where we get to see that like what exactly happened to Mavis is that wakes up, immediately puts some clothes on, because I was like, okay, I'm glad that she's running around like naked or anything. That's kind of concerning. Like, putting in is just like, well, I can still use my magic, although like, you know, it's just an illusion, running around, and she's in the guild, and fucking out of all of it, like one of my favorite like just approaches, fucking Zera just boot up like that, like just chilling on the fucking just there with the fairy tale like banner right beside him. He's like, sup girl, like, sup bitch, like that, going there. I was like, that's a fucking way how you arrive in style and fucking profile, going right there. And it's just like, how could this happen? Like, you couldn't have like killed everyone. It's like, nope, this isn't my handiwork. And we finally found out what the one like universe exactly was, is that it literally changed Fiore. Like, it changed all of the surroundings, where it's like, it's a 1/20th of its size now. Like, it's a ridiculous amount. It's saying like, you know, like this is exactly like the entire place of Fiore like, has actually grown smaller. It's about like 1/20 of its former size. So I'm guessing why exactly like that happened, because one, like, I know a lot of people say, oh, there's an attack that actually took care of that. No, it did something pretty much a lot better than just taking care of Acnologia or using this new magic at all, because she did exactly what she wanted to. She wanted to hurry up and end this war, where she got Zereth into the place that he exactly wanted to be, so he can get Fairy Heart. He split up all the team with like Fairy Tail, which you can clearly see with like Makarov and Mira and everyone else like that. Pretty much everyone's all separated now, although it did have some repercussions of Natsu as well taken care of, although the explanation of like that blast, although a little bit questionable about that. It's like, oh, it was heat magic though, so you know, it was taken care of that. Although we do get to see Brandish is with August, and like Brandish has healed August's like injuries, so it's kind of seeming like exactly how that's going. It's like, oh, they ain't gonna trust like them anymore, and it probably seems like, you know, this is kind of sealed the deal where like Brandish is gonna go back. I'm surprised that like August was a very calm and collected, even though he's still in that crazy mode of his. Like, he's just relaxing, and like, and he's still got that really like crazy tribal marks and dark skin like around him, and it's just like, yeah, you know, just casually just healing yourself while you look like some crazy fucking monster like that. You know, it's fine going for there. And like, you know, there was a little bit of itchy moments like here, like, you know, here and there, like, you know, Nazi waking up, like, touching the boobs. I'm like, oh, really? You didn't have to have that in there, like, here, but fuck it, like that. And, like, just everyone's been split up. So it's like Gray, Urza, and Juvia, they're in a place. We got Wendy and Charlotte in, like, one area. And I believe it's Mira, Lisana with Makarov, Jet, Droy, and the rest of the Fairy Tail Scrubs. And it's like, they happen to, like, encounter pretty much the main force. So it's seeming like those guys are going to be fighting off with E.N.D. We didn't know exactly as well, like, what's happened to, like, Aline's people. We don't know what happened to her two subordinates, whether they're going to be in that army or not. Like, it's like, honestly, it feels like the main reason that he did this was like, so everyone can get a lot quicker to, like, you know, meeting up and reinforce each other, so they can go and fight the main army. So since, like, you know, everyone was in, like, just crazy area, like, you know, there was one part where Natsu was in that area, and then you got, like, you know, Urza and the gang were in, like, that side of Fight Fiore, and, like, you know, I think, like, Sabretooth was here and there. So, like, the only, like, people that we don't know at the moment is that we don't know where Sabretooth are at the moment. They're like the only characters that we don't kind of know where exactly is going on with them. We didn't get to see where Letty like is at and all that with Panther Lady. And then, so, you know, everyone's separated, and it was a smart strategy because she separated Acnologia far away, and she's in the fucking, like, right in the throne room like that, and she's saying, well, at least the Majesty's at the front door right now, and it ended, like, the results kind of ended in there. Although she's like, you know, now in truth and all that, I didn't even know where I was going to end up, but this is quite the place you had here, and just sitting on the fucking king's, like, throne like that was badass as fuck and all that. Although we did get to see, like, you know, immediately, like, you know, like with Natsu, like, they noticed immediately, it's like, why have we got the, you know, like the cathedral, like Cardia Cathedral and Mercurius, like, you know, so close together, and it's just like, how nuts it. And the final part of the chapter, which is the most controversial part of it, where everyone's saying, what the fuck's going on, fuck this and all that, like, is Gargiel being back immediately, and it's like, you know, like, oh, I was dead, you know, what's going on. Now, the question is, we don't know exactly if he's dead or not, or where he is in, like, in a resident of hell or something like that. We don't know if he is back on the Earthland, like, we don't exactly know if he's in a different, like, kind of plane of existence. It kind of looks like he's been back there, although we do get to see, which I called immediately like that, was like, fucking Zera was there, and she introduced herself, I am Zera, one of the fairies of origin, and I was like, okay, we've got some stuff. So this kind of confirms already that Zera was the one that pulled Gargiel, since obviously she's dead. She seems to be like, with the fairies of origin, it seems like they can pull people out of, like, you know, like that sort of dimension, since we, like, I understand why people are extremely pissed off with that. It's like, because, like, if you think about it, it really hasn't been that long since that, like that fight we had with Brad Manning. You know, it was an emotional moment, and I still stick to that. The whole stuff that, you know, like, Gargiel said to Letty, wanting to be with her, like, all that stuff, that's emotional. And him saying, I've never been able to live up to anything, and it's like, you know, with you, I finally had dreams of having a family, being happy. Like, even to me, that still doesn't take away from that emotional moment. And this is the one thing where I've always said this, and I'll say it straight again, always my biggest complaint with Hero's writing is, like, although he does some shitty things sometimes, the biggest problem he always has is his pacing issue, where some series like One Piece had a really horrific issue with, like, dragging some stuff on, and it happens with other series as well. Bleach as well is known for doing, it's like, dragging on some fights, or maybe just skipping some, and, you know, doing that. Hero has the opposite term, where he likes to rush things, he likes to go ahead, he was on a countdown, he wanted to do something big, and I feel like the fairy, like, Zera could have been something else, it could have just been like Zera, although it wasn't my original prediction, like what we was originally going to see of Zera, where I thought she was going to be, like, part of, like what we got to see of, like, his army, although from what it sounds like, this is the incarnation of Zera. This is not the actual body of Zera. Like, it's very confusing. It could be, we still need some explanations that obviously we're probably going to get next week. But, like, it's very interesting that she is one of the fairies of origin, and it's like, you know, you can have the whole thing about what exactly she can do. So, but we knew, like, I'd like to just point that out though, immediately to people and all that, we knew that Gargiel was going to come back. At some point, we knew that. Like, that was, like, kind of the given, because Gargiel is such a popular character, and, like, we've seen it with Gray, where Gray literally got shot in the head, like that, and I think after that, it's like, you can, like, they can have life-endangering moments, and, you know, fights can get tense and all that, but it's like, you always got to keep kind of think about it. It's like, not, like, with the main cast and all that, you're not really going to see any of them die, and it's like, I think, like, I can see why a lot of people are upset, and why a lot of people really hate that, but that part of the chapter especially, but if we take that part of the chapter away, I think every like part of this chapter is fine. I think, like, you know, what Aline did with strategy, and the fucking next chapter being called Mother and Child, so we are going to get that information we wanted to know about Aline. So whether or not she is, like, the mother of Urza, or whether or not she's from the future, because we still need that explanation on Universe 1 as well, that she said that this was a like, since what she said as well is that she had no idea whether she was going to end up, or what she was actually going to do, since she's saying this is from the new age of magic. So we still need an explanation in that. So with the whole mother and child thing, it really screams that we're going to be getting information on Aline, and thinking that she, like, ended up right there, maybe, like, she's flying out to, like, the Scarlet Line as some sort of royalty. That's why they kind of, like, feel very knightly, like, you know, Urza's, like, had that kind of knighthood, like, part of her. That could be something to her character. So, you know, maybe they were, like, some original royal family or something. Like, maybe they got, like, from what we saw for, like, the Fiore, like, you know, maybe they betrayed him in some line. This is, like, hundreds of years ago, maybe something like that. Some shit like that. Although, we'll just have to wait and see. But, yeah, no, at the moment, moment, Aline's like pretty much like is gonna fuck over that place because like no one over there is going to do anything to like Aline at all. We saw that she was able to immediately take care of that Acnologia, doing the best thing. If you can't beat Acnologia, the best thing you can do and all that is give like Zera and the Spriggans and all of them time to get the fuck away and try and like, you know, get like Mavis what the fairy heart that they needed, and then they can use that to go against Acnologia. So all of that stuff is actually really smart, and Aline did a fucking good job. And now Fairy Tail's got a problem as they're separated. You got the other side of the like Fairy Tail that's got to go against the army, which a lot of them are beaten up, especially with Mira and like Lizana, the Nelfman, like they were all there pretty much goddamn exhausted. So we got that. So, and just honestly, it's like everyone's like issue with the chapter is the last like thing, which to me, I knew that was going to happen, like straight up. Like I knew that Gargiel was going to come back in some way. However, though, it wasn't explained if we are back on the actual like Fury realm at all. But it does look like exactly where Gargiel is. If you can look clearly at the picture, it seems like he's at where that pond where Zera and Mavis were when they, you know, they had that little moment together in Fairy Tail Zero. So I'd like to believe he is back on Earth and that we are going to have an explanation of exactly what happened with him. But even still, I will wholeheartedly agree with you. I kind of don't like that moment because it's too soon. That's my main issue with it. And I know a lot of people are going to be, oh, fuck Fairy Tail for it and all that, and, you know, fuck that. But I'm happy that I called the whole Zero thing. I know there were some fuckers that was trying to like, you know, well, some of them stole my fucking theory on that. And then, so like, which I, you know, I won't name names, not because I know the fuck they are. But it's like, seeing some of them, it's like, well, you know, fucking called it first, like, just saying, guys, like that. Other than that, I still really enjoyed the chapter, regardless of what. I still think like it was a great chapter, and like strategy in Fairy Tail for once. I mean that's a fucking rare chance and all that, and Aline did it like that. She fucking made sure with her entire purpose on plan that she had at least 2 destinations planned immediately, and that was Zera's location and that was Acnologia's location. So other than that, I enjoy the chapter. I generally enjoy it. I do think the Gargiel thing is too fucking rushed and all that, but like to me personally, I don't think that's too much of a different, like, it doesn't lower the chapter that much to me when it was something that, you know, I've said in many videos before that he is going to come back. So, honestly, I'd give this, honestly, an 8.5 to, like, a 9 in my opinion, but if you got, like, honestly, if people, like, had to come out of this chapter differently, saying getting a 6 or 5 or 4, I completely understand. And that's the thing. That's completely fine in my eyes. Like, I generally understand that. It's just that it maybe like some people really did expect Gargiel to be dead, that this was finally the time for a Fairy Tail character to die after having that really great wrap up. And you know, it is a shame. I really wish Fairy Tail would kill off characters at some point. I really wish there were certain ones that would really make it like, you know, the story a little bit more serious if that, you know, there was a lot more threat to some of the main characters. But you know, like if you aren't going to kill characters, then you shouldn't put them in that kind of condition. And I feel like that's what people have such a huge issue with. And it's like, it kind of feels like a troll, like at like some points, or like a giant middle finger. So it's very understandable to the people that are pissed off. Me personally, I really enjoyed the chapter. I'm really curious to see, because I know there's going to be a lot of debate in this chapter, but regardless of what, I think both sides are right into a certain aspect, like and all this. So if you love this chapter, that's awesome. Me too. I really did enjoy this one. If you didn't like it, that's fine as well, because you know you're probably a big Gargiel fan, and like, you know, you just had that. But even regardless, it doesn't take away from this moment, and I think both like sides and all that didn't like this chapter or loved this chapter can both agree that regardless of what, I think Gargiel, that emotional moment he had with Letty, it's still, I think it's still there, and it's still a fucking great moment for Gargiel and his character development. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Do you think I'm right? That is exactly, he's back on Earthland right now with Mavis, also as well, like calling that with fucking Zera with that shit. I called that straight up there. And just, like, honestly, Zera being a pimp-ass motherfucker, just being on the chair like that was awesome. That's all for me, though. Thank you much for watching, as always, and I'll see you guys, though, next time.